Hello, everybody. It's pretty late at night for a lot of people. It's pretty early in the morning for a lot of people. Basically, I wanted to go live because I wanted to play this live, this YouTube video that I found, because I want to discuss it later on in the future. But this was the best way I can think of to do it because I didn't want. I don't know. I just felt like this would be the best way to do it. I posted the link of it down in the description if you want to go to the original video and listen to it. But I am going to play it. It's 15 minutes long, and this is from when Brendan was in the Sheboygan County Jail. He called Angelique Levy, who is a reporter, who still is, I think, a reporter, or if she isn't anymore, she just recently retired. I think I remember reading that somewhere, but like, don't quote me on that. So the reason why I'm playing this is because I feel like it's really important to show how innocent Brendan, like his story of innocence, really, even though he had the interrogation and all that, his story of him being innocent really hadn't changed to this day. Like, it's the same thing. And it's important to know that this interview was never broadcasted. They didn't play it anywhere. I don't know why, other than I think actually it came out in another phone call that when Meow basically stopped it from happening. You know, it's within Len's best interest to keep Brendan looking guilty for the state, for the prosecution. We all know Len basically was working with the prosecution. So, you know, anything that Brendan tried to do to prove his innocence, it's like it didn't really go anywhere for poor Brendan because they didn't want him to appear innocent. They wanted him to appear to be this monster that did this horrific crime. So, you know, not some scared, confused teenager. But anyway, I'm going to play it. It's 15 minutes long, so hopefully you guys hear it okay. I think you will. It's pretty loud. Let me just double check. Yep. Okay.
This is CBS 5. It's Antoinette. Hello? Hello, this is a collect call from Brendan. An inmate at the Sheboygan County Jail. To accept charges, press 0. To refuse charges, press 1. To prevent calls from this facility, press 6. For a rate quote, press 7. Hello, this is a collect call from Brendan. This call is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Evercom. Hello? Brendan, are you there? Yeah. Oh, hi. This is Antoinette. How are you? Good. Good. Okay, well, I'm going to put you on hold for just a second, okay? I'm going to transfer you into another room. Is that all right? Okay. Okay, if we get disconnected, will you call back? Yeah. Okay, just a moment. Okay, bye. Brendan, are you there? Yeah. Hi. We've never met or anything. My name's Antoinette, as I was saying. Yeah. I work at Channel 5. I'm a TV news reporter. I just want to be clear with you. I want to ask your permission to record our conversation. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. So you are granting me permission to record this conversation. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, and I've started the tape, and I'm going to ask you one more time. Brendan, do I have your permission to record this conversation?
Yeah.
Okay. Brendan, how are you doing?
Well, not really bad, but I can't see none of my friends.
Do you see your mom?
Yeah.
Now, Brendan, I was just wondering, your mom was saying you want your side of the story told with all of this. I know you got arrested on March 1st, and the police said that you told them, you know what the police said, that they said that you told them that you and your uncle killed and raped Teresa.
Yeah.
What is your side of that story? What do you have to say about that? You said you want your side of the story told.
Well, my story is, I came home from school at 2:45, started walking down the road, and me and Blaine were talking about who would get the phone first to call our friends, and then we went in the house playing. He called his friend first, and while he was talking to his friend, I was playing PlayStation 2, and I waited for a little bit, and then at 5 o'clock or about that, my mom came home and I talked to her, and she said she had to leave to go to the hospital with Scott, and then after that, I waited, I watched TV until about 6 o'clock, and I got a phone call from Blaine's boss, Mike Bernelli, and told him that Blaine was going trick-or-treating with his friend, and after that, I watched TV until 7, and Steven called, and he asked me if I wanted to come over to the bonfire, so I told him I would, and I did, and then he told me that I was gonna help him clean up the yard, so we did it, and we picked up fan seat, wood, and some tires for the fire, and we picked that stuff up, and then we brought it to the fire, and we threw some of it on, and then we went into the garage, and there was a puddle on the floor of some reddish black stuff, but I didn't know what it was from, but it was like, I don't know, it was like probably 5 feet by 5 feet puddle or something, and so I cleaned it up with some older eggs, and we threw the stuff in the fire after that, and then I waited, we sat there watching the fire, and then we threw some of the stuff on, and my mom came home at 9, and she went into the house and called Steven on her cell phone to tell him that I was supposed to be home at 10 o'clock, and I had a sweater on, and so we waited for the fire to go down, and then he told me to go home to get some sleep for school tomorrow, the next day. And after that, I talked to my mom a little bit, then went to bed.
Well, you said you were hanging out in the house with your brothers?
Yeah.
Which ones were those? I know you have 3 brothers.
Well, Blaine was the only one there.
Oh, okay. Oh, because you guys came home from school.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it said in some papers they had in court.
Yeah.
So you said you guys were hanging out in the house watching playing Game Boys and watching TV.
Yeah.
What were you guys watching on TV?
Some music videos.
Oh, okay. Like what station is that?
Channel 333.
Oh, okay. Like, I don't know, VH1 or something?
MTV.
Oh, MTV. Oh, yeah, VH1's probably like, for somebody more my age, probably like a little older music and stuff like that. Okay. Well, and you said you didn't even go over until Steven called you?
Yeah.
And that was 7 o'clock?
Yeah.
Well, where do you think the cops are getting all this stuff about you getting off the bus and getting the mail and stuff?
I don't know.
No?
But I didn't do that because I never get the mail. How can I ride a bike because I don't got one? Because mine's junk because my gear gauge is busted.
And you didn't go over to Steven's house at all after school?
No.
when the cops were talking to you, because we haven't seen that videotape, they said that you are the one that said, you saw Teresa's car in the garage and the fire pit going. There was a big fire in there and everything.
Well, the fire was started before I got there.
So when you got home from school, you didn't see the fire?
No.
And you didn't see Teresa's car in the garage?
No.
So how did this all go down that they said you said all this?
Well, they said some stuff and they asked me if they're happy or not. But I would say sometimes I would say no, then they would say I was lying or something.
But that one cop, he was up there testifying, he said you provided all the detail.
Not really.
Well, what is that? What do you mean not really?
Well, some of the stuff I gave, but some of the other stuff wasn't true.
Oh, well, what did you give them?
Well, when they asked me what I did all over there, I told them that I was just over to the bomb for the first interview. And they said that the next day, the time that they arrested me, that they knew all the stuff that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they said that you said that Stephen answered the door all sweaty and kind of half naked, and then he took you down the hall and Teresa was, on the bed with shackles and handcuffs. You didn't say that?
No.
Where did they get that you said that?
I don't know.
Do you think if I went to the cops, Brendan, and said, hey, we need to do a story on this, and, why don't you let us watch the tape? We won't put it on TV or anything, but maybe we could just view it. You wouldn't be saying that? You wouldn't be saying you saw Teresa shackled and handcuffed to the bed?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
And you didn't have sex with Teresa? They said that you had sex with her?
No.
And that she was, screaming for help and, saying Brendan, well, I guess she didn't know your name, but she was saying you can stop this. Crying, you can stop this, you can stop this.
Yeah.
And that she was begging you to save her.
Well, what I know, I never seen her in my life besides that one day when she was on the news, when she was missing. So my mom called that one day and told me to turn on the news and watch it because she was a little late.
Because she was what?
She was a little late she was coming home from work.
Mm-hmm.
So she told me to turn it on before she got there to see what was on.
Well, did you feel like when these cops were talking to you that they were mean to you?
Yell at me sometimes.
They yelled at you? Yelled at you?
Yeah.
Which one of them yelled at you?
I can't remember, but the one was up north when they interviewed in November. One of them swore at me.
Oh, really? You don't remember his name?
No.
Okay. But the guys that interviewed you, when they said that you told them all this stuff,
Yeah.
there's like a tall guy and then like a short guy.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of balding.
Yeah.
Which one of them yelled at you?
Mark, I think.
Mark?
Yeah.
Okay. And the judge, what did you think about what the judge said? The judge said he thought they were nice to you and everything.
I don't know, maybe he's lying or something.
The judge?
Yeah.
He said he watched the tape and everything.
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
He said he saw it, that you willingly said that, you participated. And I'm not trying to pressure you, I'm just asking you because, that's what we do. But he said that you willingly said, I raped Teresa, I slit her throat, that Stephen told you to slit her throat, and but Teresa didn't die yet, and then Stephen strangled her, and he had blood all over his hands. That's what it says in the criminal complaint.
No.
That's not true?
No. Because I can't look at blood because if I do it, it's like a black or a feed. I feed.
Did Did you know that I talked to Steven a while back on the phone?
I don't recall.
He said that he loves you all, you know, his nephews.
Yeah.
I mean, you love Steven?
Yeah.
Like, he's probably, I mean, you guys are probably close.
Yeah.
I mean, he said he just hang out with you guys, like, his nephews is what he said. He would hang out with you guys all the time.
Yeah, he would bring me places. Like, he would take me out to eat, and he said that if I would help him with this, he was fixing cars, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He said if I would help him, he would help me find the car.
Well, what all kind of stuff did you do together?
Well, we would go up north riding, like, jeeps and that around, and go fishing, and have fires and go swimming.
Did you guys hang out outside, or not outside, but when you come home from school and stuff, did you guys ever hang out?
Not usually, because he works until 5.
But that day he said he left work early.
Yeah.
Because he said, like, he told me he was, like, hanging out at his house all day.
Yeah.
You didn't see him when you came home?
No.
And you said you never saw Teresa before?
No.
I was talking to your attorney yesterday, and he just briefly mentioned that there had been some discussions back and forth, and then I guess he told another station that, you know, there's something about you pleading guilty, and maybe testifying, I guess, against Steven. What do you think of that?
Well, when they interviewed, I was a little nervous, because I'm shy a little bit, and you know, I don't know.
I mean, but do you understand what I'm saying about you pleading guilty?
Yeah.
That they want you to say you did it.
Well, at first I thought that they were, like, trying to get Steven for something he didn't do again. And after I heard that they had evidence on him, I lost confidence in that.
Well, do you think Steven did that? You have 1 minute left.
Not really.
Brendan, they were saying they have some evidence that corroborates your version of events, that you took part in this with your uncle.
Yeah.
What do you say about that?
I don't know, maybe they're planting it or something.
They're planting evidence against you?
Yeah.
But if I were to watch that tape, Brendan, would I see you saying that you raped Teresa?
I don't recall.
You don't remember saying you raped Teresa?
No.
And that you slit her throat?
No.
And that Steven told you you did a good job after you raped her?
No.
Steven never told you you did a good job?
No.
So what do you think of all this?
That it's bullcrap.
And you never saw Teresa naked on that bed?
No.
Thank you for using Evercom.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, just getting my thoughts together real quick. The audio actually gave me a little, like, some anxiety, so I'm kind of like, I hate it. Actually, I hate listening to his voice like this. I hate hearing the tone of his voice. I hate the whole entire thing. I think, hey, yeah, Shereen, not a lot of people know about this. It's in the phone calls. Briefly touching on that, you know, Brendan doesn't want us listening to his phone calls. They don't want, or he doesn't want people doing that. They're personal to him. This one was brought to my attention a while back ago. I listened to it a while back ago because it had to do with Levy and him talking. So I listened to it because it's, you know, it's an interview, and I did ask the proper channel, not the channel, I'm sorry. I asked the right people, hey, can I play this on the YouTube? Being very respectful about the fact that, you know, this was Brendan's wishes, and I got the A-OK from the people that you should ask these things from. So I have permission to play this, and yeah, I kind of felt like I wanted to play it to kind of just show like exactly what I don't think Brendan realized 100% the horrible things that they tried to get him to say. I think he kind of just said it. And yeah, exactly. Because I ain't about listening to the other phone calls. I ain't about that at all. That's not. This phone call itself just made me physically sick. Like, to be perfectly honest, it makes me really sad, and I think it just shows this scared 16-year-old kid who just has absolutely no idea of the world that he's in and what's actually trying to defend himself with what he has, and all he has is the truth, and the truth to him, and it's hard for him to it's hard for him to stand up for himself even in this interview. You know, it was hard for him to communicate, and anything, it's just like you expect this kid to deal with courtroom situations and lawyers and shit. They took his parents away from him. They took his guardians away from him, and he had to do all this by himself. You know, it's not as easy as people think. Like, oh, stand in front of the judge and tell them you don't want your lawyer anymore, but you have to do it yourself, and you're a shy, speech compromised teenager kid. You're a kid. It's just, yeah, I guess also the interview to show like this hasn't changed from the story continuously stays consistent. You know, he came home with his brother, he watched TV, he played games or whatever. Phone rang. He went over to Uncle Steven's and helped with the bonfire, picking up trash around the yard, stood there. Steven told him to go home. You know, like, these are all things that consistently stayed with him as far as his truth. I mean, to be honest with you, when she's asking him, did you do this, did you do that, I don't think he really remembered saying half of the shit. Because it wasn't his truth. It was just awful things that they basically coerced him to say. So, yeah, that's basically why I wanted to show that. It's important to see this is a child. This isn't this adult that they're trying to make him out to be. This isn't the monster. This is a kid. And this kid was seriously let down by the system, by his own lawyer. You know, and like I said, I believe the reason why Angelette, however you say her name, didn't post or didn't run this story or this interview, because I think Glenn got in the way and said no, because he wants the world to see this kid, this kid who can't even stomach doing an interview, you know, be this guilty rapist and murderer, like somebody who's like throw a dead body on a fire, or just awful. But yeah, I guess that's my little soapbox moment for the night with this, and yeah, it's just heartbreaking stuff. It's hard to wrap your mind around, and honestly, my coping mechanism is to make jokes and stuff like that. And earlier I was trying to you know, do that. But like, once you get down to the nitty gritty of it, this is not something this is sickening. This is absolutely sickening. So, with that awful note, yeah, I'll be taking off. Thank you, Cherie, for staying in the chat. And for the other viewer who's here, I know I only have 2 or 3. So thank you guys for being here at 9 o'clock and to listen to this awful phone call, but I felt kind of necessary to know about. Yeah, there's probably going to be more discussions about this in the future. I'm just not. I guess I kind of had all these thoughts and actually sitting here listening to it again, you know, without, it just hit me. So anyway, have a good night, everybody.